Yo guys, what's up? I think it's cool if we just talk a little bit about what was going on also in my experience with this rather difficult time, which is, I think, probably quite difficult for everyone. And yeah, for me this all started in Asia, of course, when I was there for different reasons, for my music work, but also for my work as a creative. And I was in Goa at the time when the pandemic hit, and I was, as I said, working on some creative projects and was in the middle of that actually. And then suddenly the pandemic hit, and it was from the project that I was working on, 1/3 was done. That was for a clothing brand, and I was working with a brilliant creative director called Kiran Patisse, who worked for a lot of great companies like Nintendo, Sony, Gucci, L'Oreal, Elle, and so forth. So this was amazing. I got to know this guy, and I could get him into the project because he was also a fan of psychedelic music and he knew my project, so that was quite nice. And in general, it was a very exciting time. I enjoyed Goa as always. I had my bike, my beloved bike, and I had a good time, got to know some amazing people, had some amazing experiences, just as it should be. And then suddenly the pandemic hit, and I was not too sure, what should I do? Should I stay here in Asia now? It was really this question that you ask yourself, okay, when shit hits the fan, what am I gonna do? And my initial idea was to go to the Himalayas. This was my first idea, to be honest with you. And then this was quickly destroyed, this idea, simply by the fact that you couldn't move anymore during the pandemic. It was all going really quickly, in a way, and you couldn't really grasp or plan anything because it was a very uncertain time for everybody, of course. And I ended up stuck in Goa for a really long time, in a way, which was fine. I had food and everything, but my laptop was broken, for example, and just in general, the situation became a little bit dragging after a while. I'm used to have my studio to work, to be productive. I'm really, really, really behind that, to be productive. It's an important thing in my life, to be productive and creative. So I missed my studio. And I tried to go back from Asia, and it was just not working. And obviously this was also very costly. My money reserves were melting away like crazy, and I had to pay rent here in Germany, and it's really expensive. I pay horrendous amounts for energy, especially. Energy is the stuff that really costs me a lot. So even if you're not in your flat in Germany, they still take money for gas and electricity and everything, despite the fact that you haven't been there. And I came back with a huge chunk of debt. That was the thing. I came back, and it was quite a nightmare. A lot of really, really bad things were waiting in my post box for me. A lot of bills and stuff that had to be paid immediately. And obviously I'm not a lawyer or something. I'm an artist who's trying to survive, so it wasn't that easy. And then you might think, well, you're from Germany. Don't you get help from Germany? No. In Germany, only the big companies get real help. As a small artist or something, they just let you die, basically. Same thing with the small businesses. They just let them die. Millions, we're talking about, unfortunately, millions of businesses that are going to die in the next 12 months, and I'm really sad about the situation, you could say. And obviously the world is going crazy, America is going crazy, but also here, people are going nuts. I mean, in the last days, if you watch the news a little bit, then you would have realized that really, I mean, as pandemic aside, shit is going down in many countries. People are demonstrating and going to the streets. Obviously, this is also fanned by all kinds of things. I mean, there is no economic certainty, there's no psychological certainty or security, and that's really a problem, I believe. for many, many people, not only for me. That's why I don't want to really whine around, because I'm pretty sure everybody is fucked in this situation, to be honest with you. So we gotta deal with it, and I'm trying to deal with it, but it's anything but easy, I can tell you that. Yeah, it's anything but easy, but as always, I'm trying to not give up, even under the hardest circumstances. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I really had some tough times in my life, in my childhood and also in my young adulthood. Even when I was a successful set-jetting artist, even then I had a lot of problems, to be honest with you. Life is never that easy, not even if it looks easy for other people around you. But I am really happy that there are some people in my life that really are meaningful and that I like to work with. And there are a lot of great things happening, and connections are being made with fantastic people. And this is all going in a good direction. I didn't have any fights since such a long time with any people. And I think this is because I don't use Facebook that much anymore, believe it or not. So I stopped it for 1 year, and that was pretty good. And I'm really always trying to stay calm. Also when people are trying to trigger me, of course. People know that I can get angry easily, and obviously they use it against me, but that's not their fault, that's my fault, obviously. And yeah, as I said, okay, let's come back to the point where I was. I was in Goa and enjoying myself and having the blast of my life, basically. Playing a little bit of music, but since I was working with this creative director, and I really enjoyed this work of scouting models, of scouting the creative people, of scouting the locations. I rode thousands of kilometers on a bike in Goa to scout the locations, or hundreds of kilometers, and made new friends, fantastic friends, wrote new music as well, and it was a very, very good experience until the pandemic, you could say. Then obviously stuff got a lot more dire than before that. That is of course the case, or that was of course the case, because in the first days you couldn't even buy food. I mean, that changed pretty quickly, but nevertheless, in the first days, you didn't know when or how to get food. Fortunately, we were a couple of people in the area where I lived that I knew, and people helped each other out, of course. And now one thing that really got destroyed by this pandemic is kind of this feedback loop that an artist goes through. And that feedback loop, basically, you need validation as an artist of some sort, or reaction of some sort, as a part of your motivation, in my opinion. So this is obviously generated by listeners and fans. But the most intense feeling of gratitude you will get when you play for people, obviously, and really create a special moment for people and just see the culture pumping and vibrating in front of you. And this is completely missing, for example. I mean, I'm not saying that I had it easy before the pandemic, that would be a lie. But nevertheless, I mean, like, those gigs that were really helping artists like me, they are now gone. And that's a tough situation, that's for sure. But nevertheless, I hope that you guys had a good time. I just wanted to talk to someone and tell them a little bit about the past months. I know it was not very structured or anything like that, but I still hope that you enjoyed listening to me in this case. And if you have any questions, of course, drop them in the comment section below. And yeah, hopefully we see us again soon in person and can just like be together and enjoy together. It's gonna be awesome, I think, the moment when things are starting to get a lot more normal again. I can't wait for that moment. Until that, I'm trying to hold up during those difficult times, and I hope that you do the same. So much love from my side, and see you guys soon.